his toes.
Hey everybody, I'm Dawn Meifert. Thanks so much for joining me on Here's the Deal. So I've certainly seen that when we talk about guns and God, people really get up their ire. So I thank you for all of the continued friendly emails along the subject of the Catholic Church, and that's going to be what we talk about today. Tomorrow is the big day. For the first time in almost 600 years, a pope will stand down. We know that Benedict will move into a very luxurious apartment at the back of the Vatican in his little red Prada shoes, never to be seen in public ever again. So let's look at his papacy and the heritage that he leaves behind. So over the course of his papacy, we've seen him attack capitalism. We've seen him insult gays. We've seen him give horrendous health advice around the use of condoms, especially in South Africa. And, you know, he's allowed to do all of that. That is his opinion. However, what is completely unforgivable is his consistent cover-up of pedophilia within the Catholic Church. This should be intolerable to any adult. These are crimes that should have been prosecuted many times over. However, Ratzinger has remained completely unapologetic. As a matter of fact, 2 years ago, he stated that the case must be seen, and I quote, in the context of the times of the sexual revolution. He theorized that it was because pornography regarding children was accepted as normal behavior by society. So I don't know what world Pope Benedict has been living in, but I can't name one friend, one Catholic, one person of any moral compass that would agree with that statement. He has repeatedly failed to act and refused to charge any of the clerics that have come forth in his knowledge around pedophilia and sodomy of young children. So fortunately for all of us, the courts have been absolutely fantastic in forcing the church to release thousands of documents proving the existence of the Pope's personal involvement in the protection of pedophile priests. As a matter of fact, as Archbishop in Germany in 1980, Ratzinger approved therapy and relocation as the standard protocol. Now, when they say therapy, it doesn't mean the kind of therapy that we think of that involves a real therapist or a doctor or a psychiatrist. Therapy in the Catholic Church for pedophile priests basically was days spent of prayer, and once they completed that therapy, then they would be moved to a different church that knew nothing about the priest's pedophilic behavior from before. Despite his direct knowledge of the extent of the criminal activity within the church, he has continued to blame the media for the church's issues, and that's why he became so secretive when in 2001 he wrote a letter to all church bishops that all abuse cases perpetrated with a minor by a cleric are under Vatican jurisdiction and all are subject to the pontifical secret, which if violated would carry the risk of excommunication. Again, he is the man that set forth, he set the strategy, he set forth the rules around how the Catholic Church was going to deal with all of these cases of pedophilia in the year of 2001. So because of this, the country of Ireland launched a major investigation. The document is actually known as the Ryan Report, or the Irish Committee to Inquire on Child Abuse, CICA. This is a 2,500-page document, 5 volumes. You probably haven't heard of it in the United States. It was published on June 20th of 2009, and in it, this report states that there was decades of systematic torture, rape, and abuse experienced by Irish children in the care of the church, most abuse being focused on orphans and the disabled. So those priests were very wily. We know from the HBO documentary that many of the priests focused on kids that were deaf and whose parents didn't sign. So they knew this was a very calculated risk on their behalf. If they preyed on the children that were most disenfranchised from any kind of familial structure, that they ran a lower risk of being caught. Now, recently, the Los Angeles Archdiocese lost its battle in court and has been forced to release all of its documentation around 124 rapist priests. Now, here's the catch in all of this. Most of the people at the top of the church today are appointees or close friends of Pope Benedict. So we're really not going to see any change within the church around this very troubling subject. As a matter of fact, the LA Archdiocese, its Cardinal Roger Mahony, was never reprimanded by the church despite shuttling dozens of pedophiles all over the country to avoid detection. As a matter of fact, he is going to be one of the cardinals that helped decide who the new pope is going to be. So look, here's the deal for me. I don't care if you write me hateful emails. It really kind of spurs me into action to do more research and to be more passionate about a subject. So for that, I thank you. However, my question for you as an adult is, why would you take the time to write me a hateful email in defense of the behavior of the Catholic Church, instead of being concerned with the welfare of all of these victimized, abused kids? I think that we can all agree that no child at the age of 9 or 10 should be suffering at the hands of an adult, especially suffering the sins of sodomy or oral copulation. Thanks so much. I'm Dawn Meifert, and this has been Here's the Deal.